Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Manish Shrestha, working as Assistant Professor at Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic Legal Framework for Compensation. Before starting the discussion, let's have a look at the contents. The discussion will start with the introduction of the topic, followed by the Payment of Wages Act, the Minimum Wages Act, the Equal Remuneration Act, and the Payment of Bonus Act. The discussion will end with a summary. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand various acts related to compensation such as the payment of wages, minimum wages, equal remuneration, and the Payment of Bonus Act. Compensation is the amount paid to the employee by the employer. It may be in the form of cash or in the form of benefits or in both cash and benefits. Every employer wants to pay less to its employee as it is the major cost component. However, legislature prevailing in the country safeguards the interest of the employees by fixing the minimum amount to be paid to them. In India, compensation paid to the employees is regulated by the four labor legislations, namely Payment of Wages Act 1936, the Minimum Wages Act 1948, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976, the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. For the purpose of brevity, only the main components of these legislations would be discussed. The Payment of Wages Act 1936 came into existence on 28 March 1937. It is applicable all over India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Act regulates the payment of wages to persons employed in any factory, to persons employed in railways by railway administration, and to persons employed in the industrial establishments including dockyards, mines, plantation, motor and air transportation services, and workshops for manufacturing, transportation or sales. The Act covers all the employees who are drawing wages up to Rs 10,000 per month. The objectives of the Acts are to ensure employees' wages in a particular form, to ensure regular and timely payment of wages to the employees, and to have a check on unlawful and unauthorized deductions made by the employers from the wages of employees. Responsibility of wage payment. According to this Act, every employer is responsible for the payment of wages to the persons employed by him. Furthermore, Act specifies the following persons shall be held responsible for the payment of above mentioned wages. A. In factories, a person who has been named as manager of the factory as per the Factories Act. B. In industrial establishment, the person who is responsible for supervision and control of such establishments. And in railways, the person nominated by the railways administration of that zone. Time of payment. According to the Act, every person responsible for the payment of wages shall fix periods for such period. However, in no case wage period shall exceed 1 month. The Act specifies that the wages of every person employed in any railway, factory or industrial establishment in which less than 1,000 persons are employed must be paid before expiry of 7 days of subsequent month. Any railway, factory or industrial establishment in which more than 1,000 persons are employed must be paid before expiry of 10 days of subsequent month, and wages payable to dismissed or discharged employees must be paid within 2 days of such termination or discharge. Mode of payments. The Act specifies the mode of payment of wages in currency notes or coins or both. However, employer may, after receiving written authorization from the employee, pay him through check or by crediting his wages to his bank account. The permitted deductions. Wages payable to the employee shall be paid to him without any kind of deduction except those authorized in this Act. The authorized deductions from the wages may be of the following kinds, like fine, deductions for absence from duty, deductions from the damage of goods, deductions for such amenities and services provided by the employer to employee as specified by government, deductions for the recovery of advances and interest thereon due on such advances, deductions in respect of income tax payable by the employed person, deductions in respect of PF contribution and ESI contribution of the employee by employer, deductions in respect to payments made by employer for employee for loans, cooperative societies, premium for life insurance and trade unions, etc. If an employee is absent for whole or any part of the day, or if 10 or more employees are absent without reasonable cause, then permissible deduction of wages is up to 8 days. Deductions of wages is permissible under the Act for the goods damaged or lost given by the employer to the employee only if it is proved that the default or negligence of an employee resulting into loss to the establishment. The Act specifies that no such deduction should be made without giving show cause notice to the employee. Furthermore, organization has to maintain a record of such deductions in a separate register kept for the purpose. The Act also specifies that when accommodation, amenity or service has been provided by the employer and accepted by the employee, then cost of such services can be deducted from the wages of the employee. Penalties. The Act has given different type and amount for the different failures. Some of the important ones are fine between Rs 1,000 to 5,000. On following grounds, a fine of not less than 1,000 but not more than 5,000 rupee can be imposed on the organization for failing to maintain prescribed register or records in the organization, willfully refusing or neglecting to furnish information or return by the organization, willfully furnishing any information or record which is false by the organization, willfully obstructing inspector in discharging his duties, willfully refusing to show records and returns on demand of the inspector. For second or subsequent conviction on above stated reasons, fine not less than Rs 5,000 but may extend to Rs 10,000. Imprisonment of not less than 1 month, extendable up to 6 months, and fine not less than Rs 2,000, extendable up to Rs 15,000 on conviction of an offence and again guilty of conversion of the provision of Act. Failing or neglecting to pay wages to any employee of the organization. The Minimum Wages Act 1948 came into existence on 15th March 1948. The Act lays down the principles for fixation of minimum time rate of wages, minimum piece rate and guaranteed time rate and overtime rate for different occupations in different localities and for different type of employees. It is applicable all over India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Act regulates the payment of wages to persons employed in any factory, to persons employed in railways by railway administration, and to persons employed in the industrial establishments including dockyards, mines, plantation, motor and air transportation services, and workshops for manufacturing, transportation or sales. The Act covers all the employees who are working in organized sector, also known as scheduled employment. The objectives of the Act are to ensure minimum wages to the workers working in the organized sector, to stop exploitation of workers in organized sector, to empower government for fixation of minimum wages and to revising it timely. Minimum wage rate fixation. According to the Act, appropriate government is empowered to fix minimum wage rate for the employees employed under Part 1 or Part 2 of the schedule. Here again, Section 2B defines appropriate government as central government for scheduled employment carried on by central government or railways or establishments under Central Act, and for all other cases appropriate government means the state government. The appropriate government has to make review at such intervals not exceeding 5 years the minimum rates or so fixed and revise the minimum rates. Facts to be kept in mind while fixing or revising minimum rates of wages are different scheduled employments, different classes of work in the same scheduled employment, adults, apprentices, children and adolescents, different localities. Government can also fix minimum wages for time work, piece work at piece rate, piece work for the purpose of securing such employees on a time work basis, overtime work done by the employees for piece work or time rate workers. The procedure for fixing and revising minimum rate of wages. The appropriate government appoints the advisory board or central advisory board which coordinates the work of committee appointment for the fixation of minimum wages. Each committee, subcommittee and advisory board shall consist of persons nominated by appropriate government, representatives of employers and employees in equal number, and independent persons not exceeding 1/3 of total number. One of such independent person shall be the chairman of the committee. The recommendations of advisory board are published in national publications for public comments. After hearing the representatives of an official notification for minimum wages is published. Employer to pay to every employee engaged in scheduled employment at the rate not less than the minimum rates of wages as fixed by notification by not making deductions other than prescribed. Overtime wages. As per Section 14 of the Act, if a person has worked for more than 48 hours in a week, then the excess hours worked by him will be treated as overtime. The rate of wages for overtime will be twice of the normal wage rates. Wages for a person who work for less than the normal working hours. As per Section 15, if the employer could not provide the activities of the job, then the employee is entitled to receive full salary. However, if the employee has not worked due to his unwillingness, then the employee is not entitled to receive full salary. The Act states that minimum wages has to be paid without any deductions other than statutory deductions. Wages paid less than the minimum wages on the ground of less performance or output is illegal. Maintenance of records and registers. The Act specifies for the maintenance of registers containing the following details: detail of employed persons, work performed by employees, wages paid to employees, registers of fines, register for overtime, annual return records. These records should be preserved by the organization for 3 years. Any aggrieved person may apply to the Labour Commissioner for settling his claims regarding non-payment of minimum wages within 6 months. Also, if an employer had paid less than minimum wages to the employee, then punishment for such offence is imprisonment up to 6 months or with fine up to ₹500 or both. Furthermore, if an employer is found guilty for contravention of any provisions pertaining to fixing hours for normal working day, then a fine of rupees 500 is imposed on him. The Equal Remuneration Act 1976. The principle of equality in work and payment to men and women employees has just been gaining acceptance all over the world. In many countries, the law related to prohibition of discrimination between men and women in matters related to wages for similar work have been already passed. The State Policy Article 39 of Indian Constitution directs the state for securing equal pay for equal work for both men and women. The Act is applicable all over India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Act covers all persons employed by any factory, by railway administration, and employed in the industrial establishment. The objectives of the Act are to ensure payment of equal remuneration to men and women workers, and to prohibit discrimination of workers based on gender at the workplace. No employer shall pay to any worker remuneration, cash or in kind, at rate less favorable than those at which remuneration is paid to the workers of the opposite sex for performing the same work or works of similar nature. Where the rates or remuneration payable before the commencement of this Act for men and women workers for the same work or work of similar nature are different only on the grounds of gender, then the higher or the highest, whichever remuneration is applicable, should be paid. The Act specifies that there should be no discrimination on promotion, training or transfer except where employment of women is restricted. However, this provision is not applicable when priority is given to scheduled caste or scheduled tribes, ex-servicemen or retrenched employees. Maintenance of records and registers. The Act states that every employer should maintain up-to-date records for all workers employed in Form D at the place where the workers are employed. Penalties. For failing to maintain prescribed register or records, simple imprisonment up to 1 month or fine up to rupees 10,000 or both. For omitting to furnish information or return, fine not less than rupees 10,000, which may be extended to rupees 20,000, or imprisonment not less than 3 months, which may extend up to 1 year for first offence and up to 2 years for second and subsequent offences. For making any payment of remuneration at unequal rates to men and women workers for same work or work of similar nature, fine up to rupees 500. Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Practice of paying bonus in India started during First World War when certain textile mills granted 10% of wage as bonus to their workers. In certain cases, demand for bonus results into industrial disputes also. In the year 1950, the full bench of the Labour Appellate Tribunal evolved a formula for determining of bonus. Accordingly, the government introduced payment of bonus bill in the Parliament in the year 1965. The Act is applicable to every factory wherein 10 or more persons are employed with the aid of power, and in establishments in which 20 or more persons are employed without the aid of power on any day during the accounting year. The Act covers all the employees drawing wages up to rupees 10,000 per month. The objectives of the Act are providing for the payment of bonus to the employees of certain establishments on the basis of profits or production or productivity and for the matters connected therewith. Eligibility. Every employee receiving salaries or wages up to rupees 3,500 per month and engaged in any kind of work, whether skilled, unskilled, manual, managerial, supervisory, clerical, etc., is entitled to bonus for every accounting year if he has worked for at least 30 days in that accounting year. Minimum bonus. Every employer is required to pay even if he suffers losses during the accounting year or there is no surplus, a minimum bonus of 8.33% of the salary or wages of the employee during the accounting period. The amount on account of such minimum bonus should be rupees 100 for employees above 15 years of work and rupees 60 for the employees below 15 years. Maximum bonus. If in any accounting year the allocable surplus exceeds the amount of minimum bonus, the employer should pay bonus in proportion to the wages and salaries of employees earned during that accounting period. However, such bonus should not exceed 20% of salary and wages due to employees. The Act states that the bonus due to the employees should be paid in cash only on annual basis. Furthermore, it should be paid to the employees within 8 months from the closure of accounting year. According to the Act, every employer has to maintain in prescribed form the following 3 registers: register showing calculation of allocable surplus, register showing the set on and set off of allocable surplus, and register showing the detail of amount due on account of bonus to employees, the amount of deduction if any, and the actual amount paid to employee on account of bonus. Penalties. For contravention of any provision of the Act or the rules, the penalty is imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 1,000 or both. For failure to comply with the directions or requisitions made, the penalty is imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 1,000 or both. To summarize the discussion, every employer wants to pay less to its employee as it is the major cost component. However, legislature prevailing in the country safeguards the interest of the employees by fixing the minimum amount to be paid to them. In India, compensation paid to employees is regulated by 4 legislations, namely Payment of Wages Act. The Act regulates the payment of wages to persons employed in any factory, to person employed in railways or railway administration, and to person employed in the industrial establishment, including dockyards, mines, plantation, motor and air transportation services. The Act covers all the employees who are drawing wages up to rupees 10,000 per month. Minimum Wages Act 1948. The Act lays down the principles for fixation of minimum time rate of wages, minimum piece rate and guaranteed time rate and overtime rate for different occupations in different localities and for different type of employees. The Equal Remuneration Act. The President of India promulgated the Equal Remuneration Ordinance 1975 to provide equal remuneration payment to men and women workers. It is applicable all over the country except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Act covers all persons employed in any factory to persons employed in railway, administration, industrial establishment, including dockyards, mines, etc., and hire or reward and air transportation services and workshops for manufacturing, transportation or sales. The Payment of Bonus Act states the government introduces this bonus bill in the Parliament in the year 1965. The Act is applicable in every factory wherein 10 or more persons are employed with the aid of power and in establishment in which 20 or more persons are employed without the aid of power on any day during any accounting year. The Act covers all the employees during wages up to Rs 10,000 per month. Happy learning!